World War II was one of the most bloody and dangerous wars the world had ever seen. The two sides were the Axis and the Allies. The Axis were the Nazis or Germany, Italy, and Japan. The Allies were Britain, America, and the Soviet Union. Yes, the Americans have been attacked. Now we will win because Japan has not been defeated in almost 3,000 years and they are on our side. Hitler stated when he heard the Americans were attacked at Pearl Harbor. In early 1942, the war was not looking good for the Allies. The German war machine was unbeatable and the Axis looked strong, but Germany attacked their friends, the Soviet Union, because they didn't want to split Poland and many areas in North Africa. They attacked Stalingrad, Leningrad, and the capital city of Moscow. The Russians resisted heroically by burning crops and farm equipment, so the Germans couldn't use them. Still, over a 900-day siege, though more than 1 million Russians died of starvation. In the Pacific, things were not looking good either because Japan had captured the U.S. territory of Guam, Wake Islands, Hong Kong, and Singapore. Under Douglas MacArthur, the few U.S. troops and Filipino troops lost Malaya and the Dutch East Indies to the Japanese. The Allied leaders decided to create a beat Hitler first strategy and then use combined forces to defeat Japan in the Pacific. In the Pacific, in May 1942, the outlook started to turn around because we defeated Japan in the Coral Sea near Java and sank 4 Japanese aircraft carriers at the Battle of Midway. In North Africa, the British at El Alamein in Egypt drove the Germans into Tunisia, and Dwight D. Eisenhower, Georges Patton, and Omar Bradley marched their troops past Algeria and Morocco, trapping Erwin Rommel and his troops, forcing them to surrender. By the time we invaded Sicily, the mainland Italy, Mussolini had been overthrown. The Germans still did occupy many parts of Italy, but through many bloody battles, we defeated the Germans, and on June 4th, 1943, we marched into Rome, making it the first European capital freed from the Nazi control. In Stalingrad, the Germans surrendered after months of house-to-house fighting, and so the Soviets pushed them westward through Eastern Europe. After almost 9 million soldiers were lost in Russia, Roosevelt and Churchill were ready to take upon Operation Overlord or the invasion of Western Europe. General Eisenhower was appointed commander of the huge army and faced the daunting task of ferrying an army across the English Channel and supplying it with food and ammunition. The Germans knew an attack was coming, but not when and where, so they mined beaches, dug barbed wire, as machine guns and concrete tanks were ready to stop the 3 million troops of the Allies. On D-Day, as it was known, on June 6, 1944, 4,000 Allied ships invaded France through the shore of Normandy. After intense German resistance, on August 25, 1944, the Allies drove the Germans out of Paris, and within a month, all of France was free. The French greeted the Allies with joy. On December 16, 1944, the Germans had a fierce counterattack at the Battle of the Bulge. The Allies were slowed a little bit, but not stopped. At night, the British dropped tons of bombs on German cities, and during the day, the U.S. Army would bomb factories and refineries, causing fuel shortages to reduce the Germans' ability to produce war goods. After President Roosevelt, in his 4th term, he was on vacation in Georgia in early April of 1945, getting his portrait painted, and he complained of a headache, and within hours he was dead. Roosevelt was mourned all over the world and shocked Americans. Harry Truman replaced him. Also, in April 1945, Germany was collapsing as American troops closed in on Berlin from the west, and the Soviets were advancing from the east. And on April 25, 1945, Soviet and American troops met at Torgau, which was 60 miles south of Berlin. As Berlin was pounded by air raids, Hitler was hiding in an underground bunker, and unwilling to accept defeat, he committed suicide. 1 week later, Germany surrendered and the Allies had won.